Hi, I'm Steve. Broadcast. Hi, I'm Steve, a retired broadcast engineer and now turned narrator. I'd like to talk a little bit about microphones today. Now, in a previous video, I made a mistake. I use a USB or I used a USB microphone to do most of my recording. I said I did it because the USB microphone has a lower noise floor than my XLR setup, and it did. But I found out that my my XLR setup using either a mic preamp and a Scarlett Solo or a mic preamp and a Mode 2 interface. Well, I had it wired wrong. I I was taking, I thought it was mic out of the preamps, kind of like an inline amplifier, mic preamp. But it wasn't. It has line level outputs on the mic preamp. So I was feeding a line level output to a mic level input. And of course, with that kind of wiring, my noise floor was way higher than it should have been. So once I wired it correctly and got the proper gain staging, then I got about the same result in noise floor from my XLR setup as I did my USB setup. Okay, so that was a mistake on my part. So I now switched back to my XLR setup, and that's what I currently use. So let me show you my current setups. This is my current setups. This is my main office. This is the office I generally record out of. My wife and I share this office. She's an author, and so if she's busy or she's typing or she wants to take a tutorial or whatever she's doing, then I will come into this office, and this is the office I'm currently making this video out of. Now, I call these both offices. Well, they are offices, but this what I'd call spare office or spare studio is just the office where we stick all our junk in right now while we're moving. But anyway, these are the two offices I use. They're completely untreated. They're quiet, usually only the computer fan noise and things. So very easy to handle if you know your mic technique and you can use your plugins and get your noise floor. And I'll cover that in some future videos. Right now, that's it. Now, let's talk about the microphone to use. What microphone should you use? Well, I'm not here to recommend any one particular brand. If you already have a microphone, if you have a Blue Yeti, if you have some other type of USB microphone, that's fine. There's no reason why you can't start your audiobook narration with that. Let me show you. I went down the microphone rabbit hole. Whoops. Let me get the right picture up. Okay, well, I can. Oh, what happened? Okay, pause that a minute. Okay, as you can see here, I went down the microphone rabbit hole. I bought a Shure MV7 microphone. This is a different type of Fi-Fi microphone. I bought the Blue Yeti microphone. I have a Rode microphone. This is a different style of Fi-Fi microphone. And I have an Audio-Technica microphone. I've recorded audiobooks with each and every one of these microphones. Yeah, there is quite a bit of difference in them. I mean, you couldn't start with the Audio-Technica and then switch over to the Rode or whatever, but they all produce fine audio. Right now I'm using a Fi-Fi Tank 3 in my studio, and I like it just fine. But the microphone, really, use the microphone that you have, that you can afford. Get a good quality USB microphone if that's what you can afford. Or if you want to go down the XLR route, well, get the best microphone that, you can afford and that you're comfortable with. So the Shure is a beautiful microphone, but it's an expensive one. The Fifines are inexpensive microphones, and most of them have XLR and USB capability. So if you could start out with a USB port and record your audiobooks that way, and later on you could upgrade to an XLR setup. So that would be the way to go. The Blue Yeti, I recorded many a book with a Blue Yeti. It's a fine USB microphone. Don't let having a USB microphone or no studio stop you from starting your audiobook narration career. So now, about the noise level. When it came to the noise level, this is what I had. So I'm going to show with a spectrum analyzer what I had after I got all the wiring correct and the gain staging correct. So first I'll show you what it looked like with my XLR connector after I got all the wiring issues corrected. So this is my XLR setup, noise floor. And then we'll look at my setup with just the USB microphone. You can see that the noise floors are pretty much the same. So the only difference really is using it as a USB only connection. The audio is just not quite as crisp, and I don't have quite as much control. And using the XLR, the mic seems to sound a little better, a little more crisp, but I wouldn't let that stop you if you want to do your audiobook narration. It's not that much of a difference that it's going to be a game changer. It's not going. The author is not going. The author doesn't care what microphone you're using. They care about your performance, how you're performing their book, how you're relating to how they feel when they wrote the book. That's what they're looking for. Good, clean audio is important. There's no doubt about that. You don't want dogs barking or, traffic noise and things like that. You want good, quiet, clean audio. But the performance is the main thing you want to shoot for. So what microphone should you use? Well, use the one you can afford and use what's best suited for you and move up. Don't have a studio? No problem. I've recorded all my books from just my office. I'd like to have a studio one day, but right now that's just not in the picture. And don't have an XLR microphone or connection, no problem. Start with the USB microphone. Start what you have. If you don't have a microphone yet, get a dual purpose one and try out your narration world. And if you like it and you want to expand, then you can always buy the preamp and then you can always buy the preamp and upgrade to the XLR connection at a later date. But don't let that stop you from starting your narration career. Well, that's it for this video on microphones. The next video is going to be on DAWs. What DAW? Okay. So I'll see you in the next video.